This is 7 News.
Tonight, the mystery of the body found in a burning car at Dawesville.
The WA MP under fire over his speech on gay marriage.
Do you make any apology for your comment?
Absolutely not.
Tweeting on the beat, how smartphones will help Perth police tackle crime.
And a southern suburbs couple win the entire 20 million Powerball jackpot.
From the studios of 7 Perth, Susannah Carr and Ardon.
Good evening. Homicide detectives have been called in to investigate the death of a 33-year-old man whose body was found in a burnt-out car in Dawesville. Initially, it wasn't clear whether the man's death was suspicious, but police say new information has led them to believe it is.
A Liberal MP has been criticised by his own party over comments that linked gay marriage with incest. Nick Goyron is under fire over a speech he gave in State Parliament, but he says he stands by his remarks, which he maintains weren't offensive. Amelia Brune reports.
Perth police will be issued smartphones so they can interact with the public via social media such as Twitter. It's one of several changes to how police target crime in the southeastern suburbs, which include allowing victims to dial an officer direct.
A former Perth detective will plead guilty to possessing child pornography. 30-year-old Linton John Moore was charged after a search of his home last month, where police allegedly found illegal videos. Moore was working as a detective at the time, but has since been stood down. He'll be sentenced in October.
Brain surgeons have operated to remove a metal rod which impaled a young construction worker's head in Sydney. The steel, as thick as a man's thumb, speared through the centre of his forehead, but somehow it appears to have done no lasting damage. Now, although the worker is OK, we'd like to warn viewers, some of you may find these pictures confronting. Here's Chris Reason.
Tony Abbott has borrowed a line from John Howard on the Coalition's asylum seeker policy. He's declared that the government will determine who comes here if he takes office on September 7.
A powerful earthquake has rocked the New Zealand capital of Wellington, causing panic but no significant damage. The 6.6 magnitude quake was followed by more than 20 strong aftershocks. People sheltered under desks as buildings shook. The only injury reported was a woman who bumped her head diving under a table.
And I just don't want to be in another one. Yeah. I don't really feel safe around here anymore.
The quake also caused traffic gridlock and jammed mobile phone signals.
Australia has used its position on the United Nations Security Council to call an emergency meeting to discuss the crisis in Egypt. The death toll from the government's violent crackdown on pro-Islamist protesters has now risen above 600. We warn images in this report may be disturbing.
Parents and partners of Essendon players will meet at the club's headquarters next week over fears of ongoing health issues in the wake of the supplements scandal. Seven's chief football reporter Mark Stevens is at AFL House.
Perth has a new mystery millionaire. Whoever it is, they have 20 million reasons to smile after taking out last night's lotto jackpot, the fourth biggest Powerball win in WA history. Blake Johnson reports.
Rock royalty is set to perform in Perth. Bruce Springsteen has announced his first concert here. It sent his WA fans wild with excitement, and they've been promised a pretty special show. Samantha Jolly reports.
A surge in the number of WA kids diagnosed with autism. That's next.
Plus baby scare. Watch as police close in on an alleged child abductor.
And see what scientists say is the world's newest animal.
In Seven's Money Watch, the Australian share market has closed lower, dragged down by falls in the financial and resources sectors. At close of trade, the ASX 200 was down 38.5 points. One Australian dollar is buying 91 US cents and 58 British pence.
A mother and her child were taken to hospital after a fiery car crash in Beechborough this morning. The woman's car collided with another vehicle on Benara Road. It caught fire moments after they got out. The mother and her child were treated at Swan District's hospital. No one was seriously injured.
There's been a dramatic rise in the number of children being diagnosed with autism. The condition now affects 1% of WA kids. But researchers say there's still a lot we don't know about it. Amelia Brune reports.
A child abduction has ended with a frightening crash in the United States. The driver had stolen a friend's car with her 8-month-old son inside. She led police on a lengthy pursuit, reaching speeds of more than 100 kilometres an hour. The toddler wasn't injured in the crash. The driver was arrested a short time later.
A scientist in the United States has made the first new mammal discovery in 35 years. The Olongito is a member of the raccoon family and had previously been mislabelled. That was until Christopher Felgen found the skins stored at Washington's Museum of Natural History.
Some people tell me it looks a little bit like a cross between a teddy bear and a house cat.
They've since discovered the Olongito is alive and well in parts of Ecuador and Colombia. Friday Night Sport now with Adrian, Barich and Dean Cox takes aim at Glenn Jakovic's games record, Barra.
Yes, Rick, the Eagles ruckman signed on for another year today. Details coming up as the Dockers near full strength. Stephen Hill returns as Freo push for a top 2 finish. And a star West Aussie breaks his board at the famous Chopu surf break in Tahiti. And my old mate Glenn Bartlett, the former Eagle and East Perth star, has been appointed the new president of Melbourne. The Hawthorn-Collingwood game live on 7 Mate, as I mentioned. That's all in sport. Now here, Rick and Sue.
Thanks, Barra. Fuel watches after the break.
And Angela's going to tell us how long the rain will be hanging around.
Hello, we've shivered through a cold winter's day in Perth. It was even cold enough for snow down south. It's the first snowfall WA has seen this year. Bluff Knoll had a light dusting early this morning where temperatures were close to freezing. And with the recent rain, it's now the wettest August Perth's had in nearly 2 decades. All up, there's been more than 107 millimetres. Currently, it's 14 degrees out and winds are from the west-southwest. The max today was just 16.9 at 3 o'clock and overnight it fell to 6 degrees. There's been some good rain across Perth in the last 24 hours. In the hills, there was 22 mils, 16 fell at Serpentine and 11 at Fremantle. Collie was officially the state's coldest spot last night, while Wyndham was again the hottest, reaching a top of 37 degrees. Tomorrow, it'll be another hot day for the Kimberley, warm and sunny in the Pilbara, but only 19 degrees in Geraldton. A shower or two should clear the southwest. It'll be another cold day for the south coast, 16 the top for Albany, windy in Esperance but fine in Kalgoorlie. Tonight, icy onshore winds are driving showers across the southwest of the state, but a high is set to build over the state on the weekend, and with it, showers should clear up and sunny skies will finally return. Interstate, it'll be cold and wet in Adelaide and Melbourne tomorrow, but mostly sunny and 24 degrees in Sydney. Late storms forecast for Brisbane and Darwin should be fine. On the water, winds will ease, seas and swell will also drop off tomorrow. And it's going to be partly cloudy in the city with a shower or two, clearing by the afternoon. 19 degrees will be the top. There'll be a few light showers again Sunday, then a return of sunny weather from Monday and finally some warmer days, looking at maximums over 20 degrees all week. And before I go, congratulations to George and Maria Simeo, who have been married 60 years today. Ruby and Gerald Brown have been together 66 years, and happy 100th birthday to Beryl Briggs, who turns 100 this Sunday. Have a good weekend. Here's Rick and Sue.
Thanks, Ange. Another bulletin on 7 News coming up at 7 p.m. on 7/2. 2 heavyweights from Labor and the Liberals sum up the week on the campaign trail.
Plus amazing pictures of a close encounter between surfers and whales. We'll have updates through the evening. Now, here's Monica with today's.
7 News, the pulse of Perth.